Hello Internet, Audio Genetics Lab here. Wanted to play you a couple of sounds and patches from our latest library, Jailcell Slammer. It's a collection of big ol' hits and impacts and slams and ramps and all that sort of good stuff. And rather than ramble on and on too much, I'll get right into patches. And you can read about the rest of it on our site. So here we go, starting with a master patch. This has sort of all the main core samples loaded into it. I believe there's 57 in all, and it's great. It's got a little bit of everything, so I'll just sort of run through. Big slams, a little deeper, further away hits. Some that are real close and tight, washy, and others that are further. Here's a ramp. So there's all sorts of neat, got some extra layers. Long, slow ramp. So as you can tell, this stuff has all been treated and processed and run through all sorts of fun digital processing to really give them some snap and some boom. Snap and boom, that sounds like a library in itself. Anyway, speaking of boom, we got some sub basses. So you get that really deep, low, rumbly. Even just shake the subs up. If you're listening to laptop speakers, you probably didn't hear anything for the last 10 seconds. Hear a couple more ramps. And on to the next patch, far and wide. So what we do is, so that last patch has everything just sort of one sample per, and then we break those out into a couple of other patches so that you get them mapped across multiple keys, and so you can play sort of more than one pitched up or down version of the note at a time. So here's some examples of those in the far and wide category. And deep ambient sorts of things. Ramps and rolls. Yeah, here's what I was talking about earlier. Oh, we got the slow one again. Just play a bunch of these. Get the idea. Moving on down, big slams. A good core patch to load up if you just need some impact on things. A lot of our closer hits. What we do have on right now is our reverb. We have a bunch of synthesized impulses that we made just for this library. And cell block A is one of my favorites. You can hear, I'll turn off the dry and just hear the wet. Nice sort of deep ambient reverb. A lot of sort of big open sounds in these. This is just wet reverb. That one's a little clippy right now. Probably don't need that much on that. The darkness. So anyway, you get the idea. Lots of those. Also, each patch has this distortion module on the side, which is also a lot of fun depending on what you're sort of going for. You can get things a little bit rougher around the edges. Maybe a little more beef if you need to bass your sound. So you don't necessarily have to have that clanky sort of metal rattling on every hit. And I actually really like this library played softly. I think that's one of those things that epic libraries often are best at, is actually being really nice sounds when they're played very quietly. And I think this is no exception. And all of these sort of filters and volume are all velocity sensitive depending on how you set this. So this is going to determine whether your filter changes at a quiet or louder setting. So you can make it strictly a volume change at a low to high velocity. So here's low to high. Or you can make it more of a sort of traditional sampling filtered sort of sweep. Different people need different things in different scenarios, so you have both options, and you can sort of mix and match to your taste. Quickly getting through the last couple of these here, and this isn't every patch, but I'm just kind of giving an overview. Simple hits. These are a little bit tighter, a little bit less mega, so you can maybe have in other situations than just big impacts. They can be put into lots of spots. Hanger bay doors. Here's the first of our sort of designy patches where we've gone through and taken that same sample batch and just done some little contact tricks here and there to make them into something a little different, a little less percussive maybe. So this one still percussive and fits maybe the most into the rest of the group, but this nice sort of far away ambient. Tales for days. Just imagine great big giant hanger bay doors closing down some long hallway. Searchlight, here's a nice sort of different kind of a texture. I rather like that one. And then just radio transmit. This is a kind of a fun one that we made out of the whistle that they were blowing at the demonstration at Alcatraz. I'll tell about that in just a moment, but let's listen first. So if you ever need to find yourself making an old Alien trailer again, it might be a starting point. So yeah, all of these sounds for this library were sourced from field recordings at Alcatraz prison off of San Francisco, where they were doing a demonstration about the sound of Alcatraz. So they were slamming the doors and running them all up and down, and it's amazing because those doors all are engineered to where they can close at the same time. And so you have a whole line of cell block doors that were slamming shut, and we were able to grab some field recordings of those. And that was the original source material, and we sat down and took them into the lab here and made some good sounds for you, and hopefully you find that they're useful in your productions and your music and just scaring the neighbors. All right, hope you enjoy.